It's one of the major links in the United States supply chain. In fact, it's the main U.S. port for the import and export of motor vehicles. It also provides 15,000 jobs. And looking at the figures here, 850,000 vehicles are processed through this port every year. So what is the kind of impact that we're looking at, not just on the economy of this region, but for the country and for the supply chain?
Well, that's an interesting question, because among the first things I thought about when I saw this bridge collapse, and I saw the videotape of the tank of the container ship running into it, was the fact that this was going to cause a big hit to the U.S. economy. Probably not quite as big as COVID, but probably something similar. You might see a similar sort of shock, in that you've got a major American port closed, like there was in the Port of Los Angeles when everything was shut down and goods coming in through there were delayed. It's going to cause supply chain disruptions. It's going to, particularly with auto manufacturers. I mean, you mentioned two manufacturers that have distribution points there, Mercedes-Benz and Volkswagen. So I think we might expect to see the price of cars go up. You might also expect to see more delays in Amazon getting stuff to and from people on the East Coast. Now, interestingly enough, that bridge, I've driven over it several times because it's on the way to my mom's house, who lives in that part of the country. It was 1975, so it wasn't quite as old. It probably was reaching the end of its life. But one of the things that also struck me about it was the fact that it withstood a hit back in the 1980s from a cargo ship. But the problem is the cargo ships have gotten bigger, they've gotten heavier, they're laden with more stuff, and this bridge didn't keep up with it. I mean, I don't suspect anybody had any ideas of replacing the bridge, because nothing like this had ever happened before. But in the era of like Supermax transport ships that are carrying billions of dollars worth of goods, tens of thousands of containers per ship, the infrastructure was not built for that in mind. Certainly ships could pass underneath it, but there were certain safety measures that kept it from collapsing in 1980 that's not going to keep it from collapsing in 2024. So we're going to see some economic disruptions. It might not be as big as COVID. There will definitely be some ripples, particularly in autos, probably in durable goods. How big it's going to be remains to be seen, but it's actually going to happen.